What's going on today, everybody? We're getting a ride in. It's starting to get a little bit colder. I think I said that in my last video. I'm not sure. It's not cold yet, but definitely wearing a jacket to stay warm rather than just wearing a jacket. And trying to get some rides in here before it becomes more rare that I get to ride. Anyway, after I just smeared that book across my visor, that's worse. Just out for a ride, the back road. Took this route once before. This guy, I'm not quite sure. He turned, but he was awful tipsy on that motorcycle. Anyway, I just wanted to bring something up, just, you know, do my thing, ramble on a little bit, talk about stuff. A couple weeks now into the football season. Those of you that like football, American football, fantasy football, really doesn't matter, whatever it is. I can't do it. Oh, there's a school bus up here. Crap. We'll see how many times I get stopped behind the school bus. Bad timing on my part. Let's put it at 1. Really? Hang on. We're going to classify this as 3 because the bus went from there to here and stopped right here. No one got off. And now they're like 6 feet. Well, say 6 feet, but I mean, it's literally 30 feet that way. Why can't all these kids have one bus stop right here in the middle? Because there's no place to walk on the side of the road. Yeah, right, whatever. In probably 100 feet, there were 3 bus stops. Oh, and it turned the way that I want to go. Shit. Whatever. Back on subject here. Of just mentioning the, I don't want to talk while I'm stopped. I want to talk while I'm riding, but I think I'm gonna have to. It's gonna be so many bus stops. Fantasy football or fantasy basketball, fantasy golf, fantasy tennis, MMA, whatever. It doesn't matter what it is. Last year, I know it goes year-round for different sports. Last year I did it mainly in the winter with football and basketball. I was doing fantasy basketball for a long time in a league with a bunch of guys. Only last year did I try to do like the DraftKings and FanDuel type of deal for money. And basically what I found out is it may not have been so bad at doing it in a league where I picked my own team for a whole season, but when you get to pick a whole team every day and it's for money, or you know, for money across the country, not just for money between your buddies, I was not that good. But I did both. I ended up doing DraftKings more. I just tended to like it better, but I tried FanDuel as well. And but I can't do it here in Washington, at least not with my phone. The apps on the phone use your location setting when the app's running, and apparently Washington State, you can't do that stuff in Washington State. So I can't do that stuff this year. Bus is pulling to the side, thank God. So that's kind of a bummer. Like I said, I didn't end up really doing all that great, so it's not a big deal because I wasn't gonna put a bunch of money into it. I did not put a bunch of money into it, which is good, but knowing that I also didn't do all that great, I wasn't gonna put a bunch of money into it this year either. But I was gonna do it just for the heck of it, try to keep up with players. One thing I found is it did that. It actually helped me kind of keep up with players all around the league, because you had to know more than just who was on your favorite team. And I had done better. I did better at basketball than I did at football, probably because I had already done fantasy basketball before in a league, and so right off the bat I knew more players and kind of their stats, abilities. Well, not stats, I won't say I could list off their stats, but I knew the kind of impact they had on the team and how they played. So I guess what I'm going to have to do now is just going to have to go to the casino. I'm not going to gamble on the games, put money on games, on who's going to win and the spread and the margin and all that stuff. But I developed, when I was in Vegas this last year, and then I've played, you know, not for real money, but I've played on the internet and stuff like that, and I've kind of developed a strategy for roulette. So I'm gonna kind of go to the casino and test that out. I know it works. I used it in Vegas this last year. It's not something that makes me rich. I'm not going to get rich by this strategy that I'm talking about, because I'm still really only talking about betting a small amount of money, so my reward is then kind of small. But I'm just talking about if I go up there, you know, once a month or twice a month, and I spend a couple hours, you know, hour and a half, 2 hours there or something, I could walk away with $100 or something like that. The only thing I don't know this particular casino that's around here is the table limits. Doesn't have to be a high limit, but the particular section of the board, the table that I bet on, some places have a limit on that. I bet on the outside of the table, what they call the outside of the table, and some, like I said, some casinos have limits on the outside where maybe even if they say it's a no limit table, they might be talking about the inside. So I have to go see what the limit is, because within my strategy, you know, if I lose a couple in a row, to be able to get my money back and work my strategy the way that it's designed, I may have to place a big bet. So I won't dive into that. I don't want to give away secrets or mislead people and tell them how to gamble, and then they lose a bunch of money and they're all mad at me. So motorcycle ride. I'll end this vlog right here. It's probably long enough for me rambling about nothing, gambling, school bus rides. But you guys have a good day, ride safe. It's getting winter, getting closer to winter in the US, so stay warm. See you on the next one.